Welcome to the Crash the Pond podcast. It is a Monday, January 21st edition of the show. And I said January again. I don't know how this has happened.
Did you do that last week? And I didn't catch it?
I did it 2 podcasts ago. Amazing that this has happened to me
It is
again.
February 21st. Birthday of the one and only my father, Mike, and also my nephew's birthday, Tyler.
I'm surprised you didn't lead with President's Day, but yes, it is your happy birthday to Papa Rudolph.
Yeah.
I think everyone direct your happy birthday wishes to Jake's father on Twitter.
Yep.
Or other channels. Yeah. So you had a good day with him?
I did. Yep, and also my nephew's birthday.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Huge day for you.
I know.
Yeah, it must have been nice to have the day off.
It was.
Can't imagine what that's like.
As you were slaving away.
As I was just toiling, paying the Pied Piper. Yeah, it's definitely February 21st for the record, and it is President's Day, which I didn't have off. Not salty about it
Also,
at all,
I guess I learned it's Family Day in Canada.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that is true. So happy Family Day to all of our Leaf Rapids listeners. Getting that one out of the way early. This is a very early Leaf Rapids reference.
Yeah, there you go.
So I guess today is meant to honor George Washington, but we've also lumped in Jefferson, Lincoln, and there might be a fourth. So, okay. It's President's Day, I guess.
Yep.
Anyway, I was a little annoyed. Didn't get any mail today. What's up with that, huh?
Wow.
No, if you're a mailman listening to this right now, or mailwoman, I hope you enjoyed the day off. You deserve it. Okay. We're going to talk about hockey at some point. We're going to talk about the Anaheim Ducks and their Western Canadian road trip, which was this close to being a disaster. Like, it was not far away from being kind of a season-ending disaster. And instead, it ends with a game against the kind of hapless Vancouver Canucks. The Ducks just light them up. Really can't. It seemed like they just couldn't miss the net. And Thatcher Demko definitely did not hurt that. The Ducks win that one 7-4. We've got some injury updates to talk about. And surely some bones to pick here and there. So I think it should be a fun show. I think we've got enough to get through.
Us picking bones?
Okay, can I just come out right out of the gates and start with this?
Okay.
So it was against Calgary, I believe. Was it against Calgary?
I mean, I don't know what you're going to bring up, so sure.
Was it against Calgary or was it against Vancouver? I'm really annoyed that I can't remember this.
What is this? I can help if you tell me what it is.
So Nick Delorier gets a huge hit
Vancouver.
in the first period. Yeah, and crushes a guy. Yeah. Burrows. Crushes a guy. And ends up injuring the guy. Like, nothing malicious there at all, of course. But for the rest of the period, every good thing it seemed that the Ducks did was because of the tone that was set by Nick Delorier's late hit. Can we stop with this? Like, I, again, fully appreciate what Nick Delorier brings to this team. I think it's great that he's willing to put his body on the line. But the odd man rush that happens 5 minutes later is not because of a hit. It's because of the play and how it broke down. That's why it happened.
Yep.
No more.
I mean, this is just like the ESPN Plus broadcast. Instead of talking about actually the play that led to the goal, they were talking about the
fight.
Yeah.
Like this is a recurring theme now. Every time Nick Delorier punches somebody, hits somebody,
you know what?
He's gonna get credit for it the rest of the game. Everything else that happens, if John Gibson gets a shutout, it's because of Nick Delorier's hit, because of John Gibson.
You know what, Felix? We should start hyping up Nick Delorier more because then maybe he'll get a first-round pick for the Ducks.
Well, I mean, this is great news for the Ducks that he's playing this well and he's getting all this press.
Awesome Price with a great comment in Twitch saying, "Is Felix suggesting that correlation does not prove causation?"
Yeah, maybe,
yep.
maybe,
just maybe.
Maybe that's what I'm saying. How am I already this upset? And we're 7 minutes into the show.
Yeah.
So anyway, just wanted to get that out of the way early. But in the last week, Jake, I have had kind of a roller coaster of emotions towards this team because after the Calgary game, where, I mean, was it a competitive game? Was it not? I thought that I think you said at certain points that they were okay at 5-on-5.
The first period at 5-on-5, the Ducks were actually solid enough. It was kind of somewhat low event, but I think that they were solid enough. The issue was that Calgary got a power play and they took advantage of it. The Ducks had 6 minutes of power play time and really looked hapless during that. They didn't really generate a whole lot, and this is something we'll get into a little bit more with the power play coming up. But they didn't take advantage of, and then kind of after that first period or first intermission, Calgary came out and really looked like they were significantly the better team. And I mean, to be fair, yeah, Calgary is one of the best teams in the league. Like, I think you and I agree with that. I think I may honestly have them as the best team in the league right now.
I mean, I think they're in the top three or four, like at worst.
Yeah. And so I mean, I'll pull up the game flow chart just so kind of everyone can see where the Ducks definitely, I think, had, and let's throw this up there. The Ducks had the better of the play at 5-on-5 because of a couple of good chances in that first period. And then just basically after that first period, it was just a whole lot of nothing. This flat line kind of goes to show the Ducks got a couple of would get some shots, but they were really low percentage shots that really didn't account for anything. And then it just kind of stayed that way. And then in the third period, Calgary just really pushed the play. And I mean, it ended up 6-2 Calgary, a lot of that due to power play. And if I change this from 5-on-5 to all, you'll kind of even see that aspect of it where Calgary took advantage of their power play, and it really pushed them up. And so penalty killing an issue in this game, power play an issue in this game. I mean, maybe some people might not like to hear this, but goaltending an issue in this game.
Well, the big narrative to me from this game is just the way that the lineup was constructed going into it.
Yep, that too.
Right? Because you have this Calgary team that is an excellent team in all facets of the game right now. And the big takeaway, it seems, from the Anaheim coaching staff is that we've got to play a heavy game, that we need a heavy lineup. And so you have a top six, which is there's like a clear-cut difference between the top six and the bottom six, where you're prioritizing grittier type players. And then you have Greg Patterin in the lineup.
I think he was on the second D pair for that game, right?
Yeah, he was on the second pairing, and I understand that they're missing Josh Manson and that they kind of miss that element that he brings of physicality. But it was pretty clear in this game that Greg Patterin just can't keep up against the NHL's best. And so I'm not saying that the Ducks had maybe a clear-cut solution available to them with some of their missing players, but it just seems like the way hamstringing yourself like this before the game even starts doesn't really help. I mean, you're scratching Max Comtois, right? It's really hard to beat an elite 5-on-5 team when you only have two lines that can really provide you offense. And that to me was kind of the big issue, is that they put themselves in a bad position to start.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's necessarily from that perspective, because I think that's just kind of, it is what it is with the depth of the roster.
Well,
right?
but they changed the lineup as the week went along.
No, I know. But I think that getting the top six is the best top six options that you have is the way you should go. But the way that they constructed that bottom six is the big issue. And right. Here's my issue with this overall, right? If you are constantly changing your lineup to essentially meet what the other team has, then you're stating essentially that you don't have an identity. That your identity is changing constantly if you're going to be mixing and matching for whatever the other team is. If you're just purely going to be reactionary. When in reality, the best teams in the league, they play a certain style and they know how they win, and that's their style. And the issue is and we mentioned this, honestly, the first game that I can really think about this, I think we did a watch along for it, was that Arizona game. Near the last game pre-Christmas break, where the Ducks ended up losing that game, and it really it looked like they went out of their way to play physical and really kind of got involved with a lot of the extracurricular stuff, when in reality, that's not what this Ducks team is good at. Like, that's not what this team should be trying to do. That's not the game that this team should be playing. And I feel like at times Dallas Eakins tries to force that on this team without realizing that that's just not what they do. And that's kind of what this felt like to me, is a misunderstanding of what his team is and trying to force it to be something it's not. I mean, it's forcing a square peg into a round hole. I use that a lot, but that's what this felt like.
Right. Well, it's also just saying that it's more important for us to feel like we're matching this physicality of this team than just playing our team game, right? That we're afraid of getting beat up more so than we're actually trying to go out and score some goals and play effective
Well,
hockey.
and it's also saying that if one team's big and physical, that the only way that you can combat that is by being big and physical back.
Right.
When in reality, you can
Yeah.
play your game that's more of a speed transition game and beat them that way. Like this isn't the same Ducks team from years past. The best players on this team aren't these big hulking guys.
Right.
Where the only ways that you can win is by being physical. Like this is a different Ducks team.
Right, totally. And I think that it's also kind of a misevaluation of the Flames a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Because the Flames have they have some big guys, Zadorov, Goodbranson, Lucic. They have some big guys that can hurt you, but that's not what makes them great. What makes them great is their top line, their offensive depth, their puck moving ability from the back end, the depth on the blue line. Like they have so many other things going for them, and those are the things that ultimately are going to hurt you. Not Milan Lucic just finishing his check at the end of his shift, or Zadorov or Goodbranson getting into it, cross-checking in front of the net. Like that is not what you should be worried about when you're playing one of these teams, and that was to me the most frustrating thing. And I think that your point was kind of what I was trying to say is that, maybe it's not so much about the top six versus bottom six. It's just the way that bottom six was configured, where it's just all size, all grit, and then you've got, Silverberg and Lundestrom. So anyway, and the result speaks for itself, right? I mean, I understand that maybe they weren't as bad at 5-on-5, but this was not a good game for them.
Well, it was only in the first period, I think, that they weren't as bad, that they were probably the better team at 5-on-5, and then after that, it really took a swing the other way.
Right, and so, again, it's just one of those things where I think that the proof is kind of in the pudding with this one. And then, I mean, the highlight, though, is, of course, Sonny Milano's goal. Really nice play to cut in and elevate the puck. Isaac Lundestrom picking up a shorthanded goal.
Mm-hmm.
Isaac Lundestrom.
It was a nice play. It was a really nice play.
What do we make? Where are we at on Lundestrom hype right now?
I think you and I are pretty much on the same part of it. I mean, a lot of it's going to be baked into the fact that he's shooting 20% Let me double check that, but I believe that he's shooting 20%.
Might be a little lower.
I mean,
might be a touch lower now.
Yeah, which is like exactly kind of what we've talked about on previous podcasts, with the fact of looking at kind of Max Comtois and the season he's having, and looking at shooting percentages and how that can really impact things. No, he's still shooting 20%. And just how that impacts perspective, expectations, everything like that moving forward. I think the one thing, if you want to take away from this, is that he has shown an ability to create offensive plays that I didn't think he was going to be able to make. Having said that, he's not going to be finishing and creating and having points at the rate that he's having.
He's also not always doing it at 5-on-5 either.
Yeah.
He's kind of getting these moments shorthanded, which is not to take anything away from him. It's just that what you're looking for is a guy, you're looking for what a guy can do at 5-on-5 ultimately, because that's the bulk of where the game is played. And I mean, this year he's been pretty bad at 5-on-5. I mean, he's improved a little bit defensively in recent months or in recent weeks, but he's still worse than what he was last year. And his offensive play driving is a little bit better, but he's still below replacement level in that respect. So yeah, I think a lot of the hype around him is really just the fact that he's shooting 20%. I don't know if it really extends beyond.
Yeah,
that.
I mean, I'm just kind of right now looking at Jay Fresh's charts on him, and I mean, looking at 21, 22, that kind of bottom right corner of the charts and everything like that. His finishing is in like the 80th percentile, while his even strength defense is right around 50th percentile, even strength offense around maybe 10th or 15th percentile. So that just kind of gives you an idea of kind of where he's at in terms of pushing play and everything like that, and how much of his impact is being driven by purely having finishing that's higher than it should be. And so, I mean, I think the takeaway, if you want to have from all this, is that I think as a fourth line center, what he's done so far this season is really good from that perspective.
Yeah, but he's not a fourth line center.
I think with the minutes that he's given, with everything like that, I think that's the issue. I think there is still some room for him to grow. I think that's maybe the positive moving forward for Ducks fans to kind of listen to and think about with this, is that.
Yeah, I mean, he's still quite young. There's still, like you said, room for growth. But I just think some of the hype this season.
No, I think that there needs to be a different narrative here than how good he's been as compared to where he actually is and what he could potentially become. And I think that's the key differentiation here, is that I think he could eventually become what a lot of people think he is right now.
Yeah.
But that's just not what he is. CJKHL and the Twitch chat says, if you look at the numbers, Lundstrom is better than Matthews. Source, numbers I made up on Instagram.
I mean, looking at Austin Matthews tonight against the Marty St. Louis-led Canadiens,
you
might
mean
be right.
future Ducks head coach Marty St. Louis?
I hate that this has become a thing people are using against me. Like, you can't take away the one good thing I have on my team right now. You just can't. So then moving, do you want to quickly do the Edmonton game?
Sure, let's go for it. That game was painful.
I mean, well, it started off like it
wait,
was.
Wait. We need to back up real quick. Something we hadn't talked about. The fact that at what was it, 4-1 with 35 minutes left in the game, Dallas Eakins pulls John Gibson and does that with the distinct. I'll find the quote, but it was basically him saying that he believes in percentages and odds. Yeah. And the percentage chance that the Ducks were going to come back in that game was extremely low. So he wanted to have a fresh John Gibson ready for the next game. And I have some issues with that. Maybe I'm kind of overreaching here.
So here's... Can I quickly say something?
Oh, here's the exact quote real quick.
Okay. Yeah.
He was dealing with nothing. I'm big on odds and percentages. The chances that we were going to come back were low. So I'd rather have him rested and ready for tomorrow.
Yeah. So here's what I want to say to that.
Yeah.
The broadcast, John Allers and Brian Hayward initially said that he was hurt. And they also initially said that Gibson was the one who skated over to the bench and talked to Eakins, and then they took him out. That's what they said. That's what they observed. And they're at the game. At least I think so. And then there was a push from Ducks PR to make sure to note that he was not injured. And then after the game, in Eakins' comments, he made sure to stress that he was he said it kind of in this weird way. He was dealing with nothing, right?
Yeah.
So I think that there's a chance that this is all BS and that Gibson just tweaked something and wanted out. I don't think it's impossible.
Because the likelihood of this this is essentially
why would Eakins want to take out his the guy who has the best chance of getting you back in the game?
Yeah,
this in a game that you have to win.
Well, and this is waving the white flag to me, and I feel like that's a very odd thing, right? Is that you're essentially saying that I don't think we have a chance to win this game, and I think Eakins is a guy that's huge on messages to the team, right?
Yeah.
What message does this send to everyone on the bench if that's what he's doing and pulling him for that?
Mean, they were getting smoked though.
No, agreed. But they also it's not as if that's like a motivational thing. And here's the other issue I have with it, right? Is that the Edmonton game was supposed to be a night off for him. And there is something to that where if you're
those nights off are important.
And if you're the starter, you prepare differently than if you're the backup. And so I think that that's kind of an issue there also, is that I would have rather seen Gibson just finish out that game and let him have his scheduled night off where he doesn't have to prepare in the same way, do everything as if he's a starter. And instead, what ended up happening was he had back-to-back nights where he was starting. And I think that in some ways led to the Ducks suffering the next night, because here's the thing. In the game against the Flames, Gibson, in his short time playing, was at negative 2.27 GSAX. And so he was just below expected in that game. And that's not to say that the Flames weren't getting quality chances, because they were, but he needs to make a save or two that he didn't. And that's kind of what that's showing. And a lot of times what we also end up seeing is that on the second end of back-to-backs, goalies end up suffering because they're just going to be overworked. And, John Gibson was that. And so, in the Edmonton game, negative 3.39 GSAX. Mm-hmm. And so those are two straight games of significantly negative goal save above expected values. And I think that there's a bit of correlation that you can have there from Gibson starting in back-to-back games for that Oilers game.
I 100% agree. And that's the weird thing, is that you're scheduling a night off because he needs it, because it's important for him to get the rest. And now, instead of him having the night off, he's actually playing more than he was expecting to, like significantly, against a really high-powered Oilers team. So I don't think it's a crazy decision to pull him, because the Ducks, like I said, they were getting destroyed.
It was also the timing was weird, because he didn't pull him after the goal. It was like it was odd. It was just odd.
I just think he didn't want to embarrass him by pulling him after the goal. As a goalie who's been pulled in more than a few games in my lifetime. There's an art to the goalie pull, and I think that Aikens is trying to thread the needle there. But yeah, so I would say that it wasn't a crazy pull. I think it's just weird that he put him back in the night after.
I think it was the way that he worded it in the post game. I think that bugged me.
Yeah. So, but Gibson has had a few rough games, but I'm not at the point where I'm saying he's in a slump. Or
no,
like
and I think that's the key thing here.
The team isn't playing well in front of him.
Yeah, the team's not playing well in front of him. I think that doesn't necessarily help. But I think in that same kind of breath, on the last road trip, right, the team was awful in front of him, and he was outstanding.
Right.
And so I think that's really the difference between this road trip and the prior one, is that they had a phenomenal John Gibson that was stealing games for them, and then on this road trip they weren't. And that's kind of the big difference between the two of them. And I think that's the real. I think my big important takeaway from this is that Gibson wasn't outstanding. And that's not necessarily meant to be a shot at him, because he was so good on that road trip and has been so good at various points in time that he's still top 10 in the league in GSAX, even though he was I think negative 9 over the last 4 games,
right?
Something like that. And so it's just, I think it just goes to show how good he was, and kind of he's allowed to have a little bit of a couple of bad games. But this is where the team's 5-on-5 play is so important.
Yep. And then I guess for the Edmonton game, what is there to really say? They started off up 2-0, 2 power play goals even. And then after that, you have 5 unanswered goals against, and then you have 1 Trevor Zegras goal, which is actually really nice, the sharp angle shot. But I don't know, just kind of, is it a burn the tapes type of game?
And it was a multi-point night from Zegras also.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Zegras, who's stalling out post All-Star break.
Yeah, was it 5 points in 4 games?
Yeah, no, I think it's 5 and 6.
No, I think it's 5 and 4.
Is that Cole Caulfield? I'm getting the two confused. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, but then again, so you have the Gibson fatigue factor. Once again, the team comes up short, and after this game, it really felt like. First off, the Ducks were missing Ryan Getzlaf against Edmonton. Yeah. And you had Max Comtois come back into the lineup. You had some reconfiguring of the lineup. You had Sam Steele come in, Buddy Robinson come out. You still have Greg Patterin out there, which is kind of insane to me.
Was that the game where he got chipped and just got destroyed?
No, that was Calgary.
Sorry, he had some awful plays in both games.
Yeah, he played 12. He played 12-11 in that game. Josh Mahura played 8:43 against Edmonton. Oh boy. By the way, I know that we're not plus minus people, but it's a pretty funny stat line. Greg Patterin in this game, -3. Drysdale, -3. Lindholm, -2. Mahura, -2. Sam Steele, -4. Oh my God. It was a rough night for a lot of different players.
Not a fun night. One that, it's definitely just a burn the tapes type of night.
And then I guess moving on to Vancouver. So you still don't have Ryan Getzlaf. And it sounds like Ryan Getzlaf might have been able to play in this game.
Yeah.
Kind of another weird comment from Aikens where he says, well, if there were 10 games left in the season, this might be a different conversation, but we need to keep this young man healthy, or I'm paraphrasing
young
here.
Man.
Did call him a young man, which is great. And
young's relative.
I'm of two minds on this. I think for one, you don't want to push a guy if he can't play. But when you say that if there were 10 games left, it would be a different conversation, you're kind of insinuating that he could play. And then by saying also that there's a bunch of time left in the season, it almost feels like you're not understanding the gravity of this game, right? And then you combine that with all the different line changes before this game started, and it just felt like this was Aikens it almost felt like this was his last stand where he's just going all in, all these different changes. And as it turned out, it did not matter a single bit because the Ducks just couldn't miss in this game.
Yeah.
And they were up 5-0 on the Canucks. The Canucks made it a little frisky for bits and pieces, but realistically, this was just domination from the Ducks. Nick Delorier picks up 2 goals.
Yeah.
You had Sam Steele get on the board, Troy Terry, 26th goal of the season. So it was just, whatever Aikens did, I don't think any of it really mattered because the Ducks just again, couldn't miss the net in this game.
Thatcher Demko did not have a great night. The power play actually was clicking, and unlike kind of previous games, they actually were generating a lot of chances. Like this was a throwback game, I think, from the power play to early in the season when they were actually generating a bunch of chances. And so I think that kind of at 5-on-5, this was a game that the Ducks were the better team, but not significantly so, not to the tune of what ended up being it was a 7-4 scoreline. Yep. The power play is what really drove them, along with some very poor goaltending from the Canucks. And so I think that, I mean, sometimes you need that. You need the power play to come in for you, or come up big for you and win you some games. But I don't know if I would necessarily make this a right home situation for Dallas Eakins' line changes being this huge success. And my biggest issue with the line changes, we don't have to go into it too much. Maybe we can.
No, let's go. Let's go.
The biggest issue, because basically the line changes they made were the lines were going to be Milano, Terry, Getzlaf, ended up being Steele instead of Getzlaf. And then it was Henrique, Zegras, Silverberg.
Yep.
And then it was Lundestrom, Comtois, Raquel.
Yep.
And the issue I have with this is I get what he's trying to do. And I think it's good overall that you're spreading things out a little bit more. I think there are two ways to do it. Either you just load it up on the top 6 and you go for it. But I think that you can still spread it out while also loading it up. I think the Ducks do have some talent to be able to do that, enough talent to be able to do that. My main issue is the fact that you have a pair in Milano and Zegras that has had a lot of success this season. And Milano is a guy that has really made Trevor Zegras a better player. And I think they feed off each other. You look at Trevor Zegras' numbers with and without Milano, and he takes a pretty big dip without Milano. And I think a large part of that is due to Milano's game suiting him really well. And I think I think the bad decision here is taking Zegras away from Milano. And I think that having Troy Terry, Trevor Zegras, and Sonny Milano is going to be the way that they should be going moving forward, because that could be their first line going in the future. And we talked about this a bit on the Patreon episode yesterday, but I think a large part of the change and putting Jakob Silfverberg with Trevor Zegras is Dallas Eakins, and we have to be honest here, right? Trevor Zegras has had some bad plays in the defensive zone over the last trip. He's had some turnovers that led to goals against. Singular plays don't necessarily define an entire game for a player, but they do stick out in coaches' heads and things like that. And so I think a big part of this change is coming from the fact that Dallas Eakins views Trevor Zegras as being suspect defensively, and so putting Jakob Silfverberg on his line is a way to negate that. When in reality, Sonny Milano is better defensively than Jakob Silfverberg is.
By a lot.
And
he drives more offense.
Yes. And so in reality, all that you're doing is you're actually taking away the better defensive player from his line and also taking away the offensive capability of Sonny Milano, because Jakob Silfverberg is essentially nothing offensively at this point in his career. He just can't push the play. And so the big issue that I have is separating those two. Separating Milano and Zegras. If the Ducks were to go with, let's say, Zegras, Terry, Milano, and then have Getzlaf with Henrique and Silfverberg, and then the third line remains the same with Comtois, Lundestrom, and Raquel, I think that's a much better setup.
So I agree with what you're saying. I think that splitting up Zegras and Milano is definitely questionable. But on the same, in the same breath, I will say that I think it's not crazy for Eakins to do this, because it's an acknowledgement that you can't have, you can't only have two lines that can generate offense. You need more than that. And by having Comtois, Lundestrom, and Raquel on your third line, it's not going to be an elite third line offensively, but it's certainly going to be more than Lundestrom, Silfverberg, and Grant. Like, you're going to get a little bit more out of those guys. And so spreading that wealth and giving yourself more bites at the apple offensively, that's really important. I mean, you need that. That is necessary in the modern NHL. You can't have a 2-0 lines, which is what the Ducks have had.
Doesn't kind of keeping Zegras with Milano and essentially swapping Zegras and Getzlaf accomplish that, though?
No, because all I'm saying is that I'm not refuting what you're saying. I'm just saying the concept of the three lines, which maybe the ceiling is a little lower, but the floor is higher for each one, I think is not a terrible approach.
Okay.
Like, it's not perfect, certainly, but I want to give Aikens a little credit here that he is trying things that are not insane, right? Like these are things that I think can make some sense.
Maybe.
So
I really just
I think that the problem is that you're stuck on the Zegras Milano thing.
Well, not only that, I'm also
and this is what I said in Discord. You are missing the forest for the trees.
No, not only that. No, I also think my other issue is that you're saddling Zegras with an offensive nothing essentially.
Well, but here's the thing though, you're ignoring the fact that Henrique is really good.
No,
like it's not as if Zegras is cast away.
Agreed.
Yelling Wilson on that line. Like he's got Adam Henrique there.
They should have two wingers that can do that though.
Sure, I mean that's fine.
Like that.
All I'm saying is this isn't quite as bad as you're making it.
I'm not making it out to be horrible.
You're making it like it's awful.
No, I said that if you just swap Zegras and Getzlaf, then it's great. Like, sure.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, though.
One change.
Maybe something that we should discuss more is that with no Getzlaf and then you have Steele on the first line, that's where it gets weirder to me. Like, I like the concept when you have Getzlaf, but when you don't have Getzlaf, like, Steele is just not really the guy. Like, at that point, I'm almost more in favor of the loaded up option.
Yeah. That's been the whole thing. I think when I had even said in the past that the Ducks should really load it up, it was when they were significantly hurt. So you need to just be able to make it work.
You need to have like your spam line, which is just going to be awesome. By the way, can I have this take? Will you allow me this take?
Let's hear it.
Sam Steele has been better than Isaac Lundestrom this season.
Yeah.
Like if you put Sam Steele in Isaac Lundestrom's spot, the Ducks are better off. Right, like at 5-on-5. I'm not.
The only question I have there is that I think there is maybe some quality of competition baked in there in terms of Lundestrom's numbers being poor, and so maybe that does factor in somewhat.
Sam Steele's playing on the top line, so you shovel that you shove that slander.
Are you going to become a Sam Steele stan?
Should I? This is like the ultimate, like, I'm just being a contrarian for the sake of it if now I'm defending Sam Steele. Well, no, I do think, though, it's worth noting that Sam Steele has been better, I think, than the criticism this year. Like, really, the difference between, like, if we're being honest, the difference between Sam Steele and Isaac Lundestrom this season is that Sam Steele isn't killing penalties and he's not shooting 20%.
Yeah.
In terms of perception, that is it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all.
Yep.
And by the way,
I have
Isaac
up on the
Lundestrom
screen
isn't
now,
like an awesome penalty killer.
I have it up on the screen right now. Their RIPM charts for this season, so you can kind of see. I mean, it's not as if Sam Steele's been this fantastic player. He's
no. I'm not sitting here telling you he's amazing. I'm just saying like he's been better than Isaac Lundestrom.
And even though Lundestrom has been playing with Grant and Silverberg, I mean Sam Steele's been playing on the fourth line a lot this year.
Yeah, Sam Steele's been playing with like fourth liners.
Nick Delorier.
Yeah, like
Buddy
Sam
Robinson.
Sam Steele's. I mean, I don't
Derek
think it's
Grant.
I don't think it's quality of competition that we're talking about. It's quality of teammate.
That part, no. People in the Twitch chat are just bringing up the fact that Lundestrom's been playing with Grant though. So,
like that. Well, I mean, and I'm not saying that Isaac Lundestrom isn't going to end up being a better player than Sam Steele because Isaac Lundestrom is way younger and has a lot more runway. Like Sam Steele, it's kind of who he's going to be this year.
Yeah,
but I'm at the point where I think the Steele slander has gone a little too far.
Yeah, I think at this point, I think he's become a fourth line winger.
What's with this winger thing? Can
center, whatever. Fourth liner. Let's go fourth liner. How about that?
Yeah, like he's a guy who can play in your lineup.
All right. Yep. All right. Before we move on, I think it's time for a word from our sponsors.
Yes.
So, can I get a round of applause, everyone? Wow, Felix, you were supposed to clap.
You just clapped.
You were supposed to. That was on you. Yes. Wow. Okay. Today I'm excited to announce that Manscaped launched their ultra premium collection. Believe it or not, it's for your not so private parts. I'm talking about a leveled up hygiene routine with your favorite manly scent. This is an all-in-one skin and hair kit for the everyday man and covers you from head to toe, literally. Manscaped is trusted below the waist. Now trust them with the rest. Join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by going to manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping with the code CTP. We all know how the Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0 is for the most precise trim below the waist. Their advanced skin-safe technology reduces cuts to your most delicate areas, but now you can enhance your perfect grooming routine with their ultra premium collection. This package includes the Manscape Premium Deodorant. No, not for your balls, for your stanky armpits. This deodorant dries clear and is aluminum-free. Smells like their signature scent. I mean, Felix, can you tell me about their hydrating body moisturizer?
Yeah, I mean, I've been using it lately, and I've been loving it. So I highly recommend it.
There you go. And it can make you keep your skin feeling clean, smooth, and smelling fresh. Their body wash to lather you up with their infused aloe vera and sea salt shower gel. 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner. Their 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner to clean your scalp with an easy one step, and plus a free gift. And this is actually really nice. A 3-pack set of lip balm that's made up with ingredients such as vitamin E, peppermint, eucalyptus oil to keep those chappers feeling moist. Yes, I actually used that right before this podcast. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, you sound nice and moist. Good on you.
That's 4 products plus a gift inside the Ultra Premium Collection. What a score, Felix. All of these products are cruelty-free, paraben-free, vegan-friendly, and dye-free. The best ingredients with zero compromise. I'd recommend using the products in this order, Felix. You can hop in the shower and scrub-a-dub-dub that body with the Manscaped body wash. Lather your hair up with the 2-in-1 shampoo conditioner to keep your noggin toggin. Dry off and spray on the hydrating body moisturizer to reinvigorate your dry skin. Put on the Manscaped deodorant for obvious reasons, and pop the Manscaped lip balm on. No one is out here kissing chapped up lips. And getting dressed after is optional. Wear one great scent all day long. So you can get 20% off plus free shipping with code CTP at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with code CTP at manscaped.com. The power of attraction is now in a bottle. Thanks to Manscaped.
Man, the comments right now in our Twitch chat are just sending me.
I feel like our Twitch chat loves the Manscaped ad read and interacting with that more than any other part of the podcast.
I'm just like I can't keep it together when I'm seeing some of these comments. Can't repeat them on air because we are a family friendly show. But
and wait, after we just read that ad read,
we're family friendly. That was family friendly, no?
There are times where it pushes the envelope.
Yeah,
I love it though.
Certainly, I think when people hear the word moist,
that's on you.
Balm, and chappers, they just and balls. It's tough.
Yeah,
it's tough to keep it together.
DB Lowry says, "Look, I only listen to hear you all talk about balls in random Canadian cities." I mean, this is what this podcast has become.
I think ever since we've kind of taken this more like off the rails approach with the show. We've been getting more Apple reviews, so I think this might be our go-to now. Is like less hockey, more just complete randomness.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Anything else from the road trip that you want to talk about?
No. I mean, it didn't really turn into this kind of season-defining road trip. I think it could have if they had lost all 3. That would have really hurt. I mean, it's still going to be really tough sledding for the Ducks to make the playoffs moving forward. I mean, LA is looking a lot better. The Pacific Division is just really shaping up. So it's going to be tough, but they're still in it, albeit, it's a bit more of an uphill climb now.
Oh, I remember what I wanted to bring up here. Now up on the screen. This is the Money Puck.
The power play?
The Money Puck 5-on-4 expected goals for season cumulative to date per 60 minutes. So you can kind of see the trend as the sample size has grown, kind of where the power play has gone. And so this can kind of give you an idea of, in terms of generating chances on a per 60-minute basis. So eliminating it all. Yes, Felix?
I need to stop looking at the Twitch chat.
Oh, okay.
There's some gems.
Eliminating amount of minutes and things like that on the power play, and allows it to kind of be on a per 60-minute basis. And so early on in October, the Ducks were kind of settling in right around 8 expected goals for per 60. And ever since then, it's really dried up. And they've kind of settled into around 6 in the 5.5 to 6 range. And that's a pretty big drop-off in terms of expected goals for per 60. And that's the issue.
Here's what I want to know, Jake, in terms of these stats. What would you say is the expected moist per 60 over the course of this sample?
Well, it's dried up, so low.
Hey, they can use the lip balm so they can sound nice and moist on the power play. Okay, all right. I swear, I promise we're done. No, but so the Ducks scored a bunch of power play goals in this road trip.
And here's the thing. The Vancouver
Yeah.
game was actually good, and you can even see that if you're looking at the chart. Oh, you can't actually see it. The far right of the chart, it's cut off, but it actually kind of bumps up a little bit. Let me see if I can move this. There you go. You can see it bumps up slightly. And so that one game has allowed them to kind of get up a little bit, but that needs to continue.
Right. Yeah, and so I think that's the whole thing is that, this whole season we've been told how, Newell Brown and Jeff Ward are these masterminds, and how great is it that they have no ego about it, and Dallas Eakins is just letting them get in the lab and really dissect tape and just really have at it. And Dallas Eakins made some just confusing comments today. I don't know if you read the Elliot Tiefert article where he said that.
No, I had not.
Well, last season we didn't really try. This is paraphrasing, but it was basically like we didn't really try to address it as much, or we didn't want to address it as much because it was just so bad, and it was just like this black cloud.
What?
And it's like your job is to figure it out. You are
wait. Backtrack for a sec. Wasn't last season the year where they specifically took the power play duty away from the assistant coaches and gave it to Dallas Eakins because it was failing?
Yeah, exactly. It's just Dallas. You're being paid a shit ton of money to coach hockey. Maybe actually figure things out instead of say, well, there's a black cloud. So this season he's saying that because things are going well, it's easier to keep working at it because I think everyone is more interested in actually talking about it. And look, I get the whole human element side of this, but the funny thing is that with all that said, with all of this narrative at play, with the chart you just showed, the Ducks power play has actually not been good for a while. And yeah, they've been converting on chances, but their actual, chance generation has not been very good. And you really have to go back to like the beginning portion of the season for them to look good statistically. And so, again, today Dallas Eakins was still talking about Newell Brown and Jeff Ward, and it's just like, man, it's shooting percentage is a hell of a drug. And yeah, they look good against Vancouver. Make no mistake.
Yeah, like that. That was a blast to the past for the first month of the season, right?
I think we need a bigger sample before we kind of crown them as like they've returned back to like that early season form.
Yeah, exactly. And then the other news from the week is Dave Nonis.
Dave Nonis is out. So the Ducks and Dave Nonis have mutually agreed to part ways. And this actually broke during the Vancouver game.
Yeah, credit to Eric Stevens.
Yeah, and I think it is interesting, right? Because if you look at the internal candidates for the Ducks GM position, you had Martin Madden, Jeff Solomon, and Dave Nonis, and Dave Nonis so far is the only one that has left. And so I guess there's a lot of questions that come out of this. For one, the one thing we can say before getting to the questions is that really it feels like the last big kind of Murray piece of this organization is gone. Like the Murray imprint is fading fast if Dave Nonis is gone.
Yeah, 100%.
Now, though, the question becomes, did he leave because he wanted the GM job and he wants to go somewhere else where he'll have a better opportunity at that? Or did he leave because Pat Verbeek kind of got the lay of the land in the last couple of weeks and decided that this guy doesn't really fit what how he wants to manage this team? Like there's a lot of questions that come out of that. But I think regardless, it doesn't really matter. I think that Dave Nonis being out of this organization is a positive.
Well, yeah, Dave Nonis essentially got a job with the Ducks because he's friends with Murray.
Because he's drinking buddies with Bob Murray.
Yeah,
like that's pretty much
100%. He got fired from the Maple Leafs, did an awful job with that team, set them up in a way that they had to really kind of do some work to build into what they've become today, and they really should have done this years ago if they had a competent general manager doing it at that time. And he was able to be so bad at his job that he got fired, and then goes and gets a scouting gig with the Ducks, and eventually turns that into becoming an AGM. And so it must be nice to be able to be so bad that you end up being able to go do that. And I think what this shows is that the Ducks are moving on, like you said, from the Murray era, and good riddance to that with everything that's come out about the way that he ran this organization. I think that this is for the best. If Dave Nonis was someone that was close friends with Murray, you could imagine that he was potentially someone that enabled that behavior from Bob Murray. And so getting that person out of the environment is probably for the best, not only for the Ducks, but also, or I guess just for the Ducks.
Also, I mean, one thing that, I mean, from Pat Verbeek's perspective, if you're trying to like build out this organization, build out your staff, and you're looking around, okay, you look at Martin Madden. You know he's a great scout. You know that he's had plenty of great picks in the draft.
He has a clearly defined role.
Right. Jeff Solomon, same thing. You know what he brings. He's got a wealth of experience from more of the managerial side, working with the salary cap and building up analytics department. So those are things that are tangible and that you can work with those. With Dave Nonis, what is he bringing? Like he's I guess a pro scout, right? Like he doesn't really have this clearly defined role, and very likely his view on players is maybe not the most up to speed. I mean, just look at it. Like Dave Nonis, his whole thing is that he's a pro scout, and that he's got this eye at the pro level. And look how disastrous the Ducks pro scouting has been.
Think about the shuffling of deck chairs.
Right, we've said this over and over. How many times have the Ducks swung and missed on guys over the last 3-4 years? And a big part of that is because they had a very difficult time evaluating and finding talent at the pro level. So to me, Nonis being gone is just a breath of fresh air for the franchise.
Yep, exactly. And so I mean, I think it could be a little bit of both in terms of the Ducks wanting him to go and also him wanting to leave. The writing was probably on the wall for him after him not getting the GM job. He was probably the one out of the three internal candidates that probably had the highest ambition to potentially.
Well, he's the only one who had been a GM before.
Yeah, exactly.
Of the three,
and it sounds like now he's going to go and potentially. I mean, this is I guess just Steven's opinion, but he's saying I wouldn't be surprised if Nonis finds a role with Pittsburgh, where one-time mentor Brian Burke is the president of hockey ops.
Those old hockey men just love to stick together.
Yep.
They will hire each other until the cows come home.
Supposedly, I guess Scott Niedermayer is going to take over some of the duties of Dave Nonis, whatever they were, as we were talking about. Who knows for sure? But
can't be that hard to replace.
I think I would trust Scott Niedermayer to do a better job than Dave Nonis in the pro scouting department, and that's without even necessarily knowing.
I mean, it's not hard to beat.
Exactly,
I could do a better job than Dave Nonis.
Oh God,
you could do a better job.
Sith Lord Buscemi saying Jason Chimera saved this team. What do you mean?
Yeah, Chris Kelly, Jason Chimera, the Butt Speed era.
God, that was the first year of the podcast.
yeah, and how'd that go? They got swept.
Yep. Oh boy.
So, like they've been bad because they've been poorly run, not because it's this, because I remember when this kind of rebuild for the Ducks started, and by rebuild I mean when they started being terrible, there was this whole narrative about, well, it's just inevitable in a cap league that you're going to be bad at some point. And it's like, yeah, that's true to a degree, but the Ducks almost accelerated it by just their horrible decision making.
Yep.
Anyway.
Yep.
Another bone to pick.
Yeah, Austin Price asking, just kind of on this topic before we get into all the other questions, who currently runs the pro scouting for the Ducks then? I would assume now it's just going to be Verbeek. I don't think there's necessarily someone who's ahead of pro scouting at this point in time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that kind of varies depending. I'll try to find it on the website.
Okay.
If you want to pull up some questions.
Yeah, so we're going to start with our Patreon Discord for Crash Spawn. So we got this from SP84. Said, how soon do the Ducks compete for a Stanley Cup?
Ooh. Let me ask you this. Could it be next season?
I think there's potential that it could be next season. I think more likely not, it's 2 to 3 years, though.
Mm-hmm.
I think next season is when the playoff window opens. And I think that the year after that is when the contention actually begins.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that next year they can start really pushing for the playoffs because of internal growth. And I think that Verbeek has kind of, intimated that he wants to maybe make some additions in free agency.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that they're just going to have a better team next year.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Let's see.
By the way, there's a director of player evaluation, which is Bruce Franklin. So
maybe. There you go. JJ Stone Drums said, do you guys have any idea of games to add to the skills competition? A dumb idea I had was the goalies shoot hard rubber or foam pucks to avoid injury at skaters and see who can score the most / make the most saves.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Like a shot blocking challenge, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking I don't know how much you can do with this, but it's like when you're playing pickup and there's no goalie and you have to hit the posts.
Mm-hmm.
Something where it's like how many crossbars or posts can you hit in a short amount of time? It'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Maybe hit crossbar, and how you can hit the crossbar from further out, and slowly work your way further and further away.
Yeah, just really tap into the skill of these players as much as you can.
Briz asks, are there any overlooked Ducks prospects that you think could have an impact on the team in the future?
I feel like maybe we're not talking enough about how good Olen Zellweger.
I knew you were going there.
Season.
Once you said we're not talking about how good he's been, I knew where you were going.
Well, the question was who can help in the future.
Yes. Well, yes, someone that's overlooked. Is Zellweger overlooked, though?
I don't think he's overlooked. I just think that he's maybe underappreciated. Like
potentially.
Like maybe not by a lot, but he's just been very, very good.
Yeah.
And the Ducks got him after when they should have.
Yeah, they're like if he is born a week later, he's top 10 pick this draft potentially.
Right. That's the whole thing is that like I just feel like people aren't realizing like how great he could be.
Yeah.
For the Ducks. I mean, his star probability this year went up from 29% to 46%.
Wow.
And he's a D-man.
Yeah.
Like we're talking like so the prospecting model that we use from Byron Bader, it typically doesn't really favor defensemen because defensemen don't produce as many points. So for Olen Zellweger, like you said, a younger defenseman to now be almost at a coin flip to be an NHL star in terms of production as a defenseman, it's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good.
Do you think Henry Thrun might fall into that in terms of what he's been doing this year? I mean, he's at almost a point per game in college right now. 24 points in 26 games.
Yeah, I mean, how old is he, though?
I think he's Trevor Zegras' draft, so he's going to be 21.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to play. I think he's going to be an NHLer.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
But that's kind of the point. Someone that, I guess, well, let me look real quick. The question was just that could have an impact on the team in the future. Someone that's overlooked.
Sure. I mean, so Thrun could be that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
By the way, it's Thrun.
Yeah, Thrun. Is it Thrun? I don't know.
Jake pronouncing names correctly.
I guess. I don't know.
Rivalry.
Thrun. Sean Chiggerl is having an insane season in the WHL.
Yeah.
As a late pick for that to be something, he has 45 points in 47 games. Now, granted, the WHL is a higher scoring league, so maybe that plays a part in it, right? But for someone that was taken, let me see, in the 5th round for the Ducks,
yeah,
like having almost being a point per game player in the WHL is not too bad.
I liked what I saw from him in the development camp, but I don't know. I mean, he's a little older, so we'll see.
He's basically normal. I mean, he's going to be turning 19 in April.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Zellweger is the guy.
No, yeah, but he's talked about a bunch. This is the point.
Is he though?
Yes. He's constantly tweeted about within Ducks Twitter because of things that he does.
No,
he had 11 shots on goal. I think if you're
you know who I think we're not talking enough about?
Who?
Bo Grew. No, nothing. Okay. Not even a tiny reaction.
Sean Chiggerl. There you go. Genki Horiguchi is
what are you saying right now?
This Twitch account said stop making up prospects using a WHL name generator with Sean Chiggerl.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. I wish I wouldn't have butchered the Twitch name so much, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I was wondering what was happening to you there.
Yeah. Heyo Deflo said, how many points will the Ducks earn on their upcoming 6-game road trip?
Ooh.
So let's just run the schedule. Yeah, let's go through it. So they play the Sharks. Win or lose against the Sharks?
I think they win.
Kings. Win or lose?
Lose.
So they're 1-1 now against the Islanders.
I feel like they might win that game.
Yep.
The Islanders have not been good.
Boston?
Feels like a loss.
Okay. Vegas?
Feels like a loss.
San Jose?
I'll give them a win there.
So they go 3-3.
Yeah, that feels right for this team, no?
Yeah, it definitely does. One thing, sorry, this is now a complete sidetracking tangent, but something I realized this past week when I was looking at the standings And I think it's something important to bring up because I don't think we talk about regulation wins enough.
Oh, yeah. I know where you're going with this.
And so the Ducks this season, let me just double check this. Yeah, they're 17-19 in games decided at 5-on-5.
Mm-hmm.
They're under 500. So I think that just kind of goes to show we've talked about their 5-on-5 strategy.
Well, they're playing to game the standing system.
Yeah, exactly. And, but I think looking at, if you're trying to look at just wins and losses or looking at the standing and get an idea for what the team is, I think looking at regulation win and losses gives you a pretty good idea of how the team is.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, that's fair.
And the Ducks being 17-19 gives you a much better picture than their 24-19 the records shows. So just something I wanted to bring up there. Let's see. 91 Pluty said, predict what team these players will be on after the deadline. Lindholm, Manson, Raquel, Deloria. Pick a team.
We're doing this again.
Yep.
Okay, Manson, Toronto.
Wow, you think he waves?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to have fun.
I say Manson goes to the Panthers.
Oh, okay. Raquel is the tricky one for me.
I'm going to go Raquel to Calgary.
Wow. Interesting.
Calgary loads up.
Yeah, that is loading up. What do you do with Lindholm?
Lindholm to...
Extend?
No. Lindholm to Boston? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. An Eastern team.
And Deloria to Pittsburgh.
So actually, I'll just tie in this question I got real quick because I think it kind of works here. This is from Raz on Twitter. Said, do you think the Ducks are interested in trading Sam Carrick? And what value do you think he brings since he's on a one-year deal?
I got that. I got that same question also. So good.
Okay, perfect.
You're knocking that one out.
Well, so I mean, it kind of makes sense. Like, how useful is he to the Ducks versus like a playoff team?
Well, I don't think he's a UFA.
Yeah, he is.
He is?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he is.
And he's making no money. So,
I mean, I think he's someone that I would almost, if you're able to get something for him, great. I also wouldn't hate just keeping him and signing him to an extension. Because I don't think his value is that high.
Yeah, that's the thing is, even though we like him, I don't know if other teams kind of see it that way. I mean, maybe they do, but he's a fourth-line center, and he's not like a Deloria type who has that kind of weird, trumped-up value. I mean, he's got 9 goals this year.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's something to think about. Like, I don't think anyone should be off the table that's expiring for this summer.
Yep. CZO said, for the... Oh, you didn't say Deloria. Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
CZO asked, for the pod tonight, what performance-enhancing drugs were the Habs on tonight and to do what they did to Toronto?
Look, the Leafs just choke against the Habs. This is like a known thing at this point.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he also has tickets behind the bench tomorrow and wants a sign suggestion. He needs to
sign suggestion.
He needs to just print out a picture of West Coast Hockey's display.
Wow, you brought that up. Okay.
And maybe
it's
just
savage.
put
it's Savage season.
And put a CTP logo on it on one of the screens.
Oh, for us? For
I don't know. He just
shout us out?
I don't know. He wants he's open to taking any sign.
Oh man. There's just so many different ways to go with this. I like the West Coast Hockey picture though.
Yeah.
D'Lo for a first. Moist. Yeah, there's some good suggestions.
Lewis,
the chat is coming through a lot more than I am right now.
Lewis X209 said, "Who wins the dog collar match at the pay-per-view?" And you already answered that on our Patreon episode.
Stop with this. No more.
And
No more.
Lewis also asked, "Does Wardlow turn babyface?" And kind of tying in also, NJ Devils fan 68 said, "Does Wardlow finally turn on MJF at the pay-per-view?" Felix,
I don't care. I just don't.
Does Wardlow become a babyface?
I don't know.
No, I don't think it happens at Revolution. I think he wins the face of the Revolution ladder match. I think then I think a week later MJF tries to say that this is in your contract, give it to me, and there's maybe something lapsing in his contract, and Wardlow turns babyface. But it's gonna happen soon. It's happening soon.
Words.
Fantasy booking.
Words.
All right, so let's get to Twitch, and then once that's done, I got some stuff on Twitter that we'll get to. So for those of you watching on YouTube, yes, go to youtube.com/crashspawn where you can like, subscribe, all that good stuff to our channel. Hit that notification bell to get notified when the videos go up, or on your favorite podcast. If you're also listening on your favorite podcast services, you can find us each and every Monday night at 8 p.m. at twitch.tv/crashspawn where you can interact with us live, and you can help support the show. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free Twitch Prime gaming sub each and every month. You do have to hit that subscribe button after 30 days, and you get special emotes in the chat, special banner or badges next to your name. So, real quick, we got a couple of subscriptions that I wanted to shout out. Heyo Deflo subbed out for 15 months, so thank you so much. Mike, Bonnie subbed. Do you want to guess how many months for Bonnie?
Oh my God. Okay, let me think. 39?
41.
41. I was gonna say 41. Wow.
Thank you, Bonnie.
That is goat tier.
Yes.
Hall of Fame. Bonnie needs to pick a number so we can retire it.
Yeah. Dan Grimshaw said we'll just have a little number somewhere on the screen.
Yeah, we should do
Dan
that.
Grimshaw resubscribed for 16 months, so thank you all
Thank
so
you.
much.
Sweet 16.
Let's get to these questions. Here we go. Who would each of you pick for the next captain and why?
So I think Troy Terry is a really good pick. I think that I know people want Cam Fowler. He would not be a terrible pick either. I think it would be cool to see Fowler be the captain just because he's been a member of the team for such a long time. He's locked up long term, and he just kind of has, I mean, just listening to his comments, he's usually pretty insightful, pragmatic, and I think that's kind of a good leader to have. Troy Terry could be that as well. Maybe Trevor Zegras, just because he's kind of the face of the franchise. But there's a few good candidates to me.
I think.
What about Nick Delorier?
I think Fowler's the next captain because he's almost like going to be a transitional captain for 3 or 4 years, and then eventually it goes to Zegras.
Maybe. I mean, we don't know. Like it's the Verbild now, so we just don't know.
There you go. CJ KHL, I'm gonna save your city for after we get through the other questions. We have one from Lewis also. Jay Knopf said,
God.
"What is Mason McTavish gonna be in the future? Possible Bo Horvat type center?"
Yeah, I keep hearing the Horvat one. I maybe I just don't watch Bo Horvat enough to know.
I feel like that's an insult.
Is it? I mean, Bo Horvat's a good player.
Is he that good?
No?
Maybe I'm misunderstanding. I don't think Bo Horvat. I think Bo Horvat's like, I guess he's a second line center.
Well, here's the thing. I think that if you just watch them play, McTavish is definitely a little bit behind in terms of just skills. Mm-hmm. But McTavish has really good hockey sense. He's got a really good shot, and he can make plays around the net. But I think for him to reach that tier of being a true top 6 guy, he's gonna have to work on his skills a bit. He's maybe it was just the fact that he was playing the wing. With the Ducks, but he's going to have to be able to beat guys. He's going to have to jump in off the rush and make plays. And that's just like a necessary skill to be a top 6 guy in the NHL nowadays. Yep. Otherwise, you become maybe more of a kind of support guy.
Yep.
So
Sith Lord Buscemi asks, what would it take to get Cam York out of Philly? Here's my opinion. An extended Hampus Lindholm.
Sure.
I think that's what it would take because they want
make it happen.
They're not in the playoffs. That's not going to matter. But I think an extended Hampus Lindholm could get Cam York. Disagree?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
I'll allow that.
DB Lowry said, did you all watch the Daytona 500? Nope. Sorry. Was wondering if maybe you did, but figured not. Let's see. Does J-Nop88 says Anthony Stolarz have trade value as a UFA?
Well, he's got 1 year left after this year.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right. Sorry.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think he does have some value if a team wants a steady backup, but, I mean, he's pretty valuable to the Ducks.
Yeah,
so.
I would just keep him.
Yeah, just keep him.
Tybal the Fiend Blooded. There's an extra T in there that I can't figure out where it needs to go, but whatever. How important do you think the executives believe an enforcer like Delorier is?
I think it depends on the team. I think that there are some teams that really would value a player like that and others that don't. But here's the thing. We just never know who the smart teams are and who aren't sometimes because the Maple Leafs, I mean, they're willing to pay. Like, they're in on Ben Sherratt. He's not good. Tampa Bay, right? Despite all the things they've done well, like, they've always signed big and slow defensemen and they've prioritized toughness. So I think there's probably a lot of teams that would want a Nick Delorier, to be honest.
Yep, I would agree with that. Dalton Keys, this will be the last one from Twitch, and then we'll go to Twitter and then get to the city. If you were GM, who would be the next Ducks coach?
Ooh, well, I mean, if I were the GM and I didn't have any Habs fandom anymore, dude, just take Marty St. Louis.
I mean, he's not under contract for next year. The likelihood of this happening so low because if he's doing well in Montreal, he's probably going to want to stay because it's a mecca.
Yeah.
But the ability to coach the Ducks team, right? I think you would agree that the Ducks are in a better position to contend sooner than Montreal. And just check your Habs fandom at the door. Okay. And so I think him leaving for Anaheim could allow him to contend sooner.
Well, yeah, and I think that especially like with his style of coaching that we've seen so far, I think that there's a lot of players on the roster that would benefit from having him.
And now I'm trying to think, did Pat Verbeek ever play with Marty St. Louis?
No, I don't think so. Would have been too old.
When did Pat Verbeek retire?
He played in the 90s, right?
So, Marty St. Louis was on the 03 whatchamacallit, Tampa Bay team that won the cup.
Yeah, I mean, he retired in 02. Pat Verbeek did.
And he was on so they probably didn't overlap.
No, they didn't play. Don't you dare. Don't you freaking dare.
I'm just trying to find the connection.
Why are you trying to take my happiness away?
I mean, another guy that maybe, depending on how things go, would be Jay Woodcroft. I mean, he's not under contract for next year, but I would assume if he does well enough in Edmonton, they're just going to extend him.
Yeah, I mean, it's felt for a long time like he's kind of next in line for Edmonton.
Yeah. So let's see really quick. One more from Twitch. Jane Opp said, question for Felix. How hyped are you for Habs prospect Joshua Roy? Dude's unreal. Not much hype, though.
I actually have never heard of this player until right now.
There you go. All right, moving on. This comes from Twitter. William Lewis sent me a DM asking, any chance Raquel and Lindholm get traded to the same team? And if so, does that elevate the first we hope to, or I think what you get in return, and would you do it? Another one, not necessarily. Oh, I'll save that for another point in time. But so do you think that elevates the return if you package them together?
No, I just think you would get what you would have gotten for both just at the same time.
Yep, definitely. Agreed.
Like you don't get more. Yeah.
Yep. And then I have this DM from Trevor Zegras.
There's like multiple accounts that are just called like Trevor Zegras or some version of that.
But
it's really
this
funny.
guy asks good questions. Let's say the Ducks get around the 15th pick in the draft. Is there any prospects in this draft that you're hoping the Ducks can get at their position? I don't think you or I either have an idea of this draft. We did this on the Patreon. I think it was McGrody, I think is what Scott Wheeler has at 15. And he sounds like it could be a good pick.
I'm impressed that you remembered that.
I can't remember his first name. I was trying to say it and I can't remember.
It was like Ewan or something.
I don't think so.
Evan.
I don't think okay. I almost said Rhodey McGrody. I'm like, that's not it.
No. Wow, is this draft just really weak or something? The highest star probability is 50%.
Is it really Rutger McGrody? Yeah, it's Rutger McGrody. I wasn't that far off.
Why did I say Ewan? Shane Wright doesn't even have the highest star probability in this draft.
Yeah, wow. I mean, some people don't have him first. Who has the highest star probability?
It's Joachim Kemel.
Oh, yeah. He's playing over in Liga. Who's after him?
There's Logan Cooley.
Logan Cooley is who why am I spacing on his name? He worked for ESPN. Chris Peters had him first.
Yeah, there's Simon Nemes from Slovakia.
And there's
Matthew Savoie.
There's also the Slovakian kid from the Olympics.
From the Olympics. Yeah, he's not rating that highly here, but he was freaking amazing.
Yeah.
I enjoyed watching him play.
Yeah. Trevor Zegras had a couple other questions.
By the way, Rutger Oh, you've been saying it wrong. It's Rutger McGroarty. There's two R's.
Sorry.
Rutger McGroarty.
I was going off memory. Come on.
He's at it's okay. He's at 17% star probability. So
okay. Which prospects not currently on the Ducks roster do you expect to start with the team next year? I think McTavish is an easy one.
Yeah, McTavish is the layup, but I do wonder about Sasha Pasajov a little bit.
Yeah, I believe he is AHL eligible because he was going the college route. I don't believe he was drafted and playing for a CHL team prior to the draft, which makes him AHL eligible next year. I think you probably maybe still let him marinade in the CHL.
By the way,
does Zellweger get a spot in the NHL next year to start? We've talked about that briefly.
On this trajectory, I mean, I think to start, yeah, because there's going to be openings. I mean, It depends what they do in free agency. But, by the way, Pasajov's star probability has gone down this season.
He started off really hot and then has fallen off a bit.
His NHLer probability has gone up. So, I mean, it's looking like he'll play, but maybe a little concerning there. I mean, he's a third-round pick. So.
All right. It's time, Felix. It's time.
Uh-oh.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Thoughts on Percé, Quebec?
Percé, how do you spell that?
Perce, Quebec. It has a.
Oh wow, you actually pronounced that correctly.
Yeah,
I'm impressed.
I see an accent. I know what to do.
Like when you said it out loud, I was like, oh god, like the spelling is just not at all gonna match. Wow, I mean this is actually a nice area.
Yeah,
this is beautiful.
Yeah, Lou, what are you doing here?
Like, thank you for passing this along. Yeah, it's coastal town right by New Brunswick. I mean, it's probably cold as all hell over there, but especially right now. But yeah, it's beautiful.
This looks a lot kind of like coastal New England.
Yeah. I mean, it's the East Coast, so yeah. I'm a fan.
Is there anything of note within this? There's La Maison de Pêcheur. Did I say that even close to right? It's a restaurant.
Where are you looking?
I don't know. It's like around the curve. There's Cat Montjoy. There's Jolie. I am butchering
just you
all
trying to
of
pronounce.
this.
You try to pronounce French things is the big one here.
We should not do cities in Quebec anymore because I
can pronounce them, but I kind of want to hear you.
I will just butcher it all.
It's more fun for me.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So
am I throwing you under the bus here a little bit?
Maybe. The other issue is because everything is in French. So I can't tell if there's a like a brewery or things like that.
Yeah.
Like here's the issue. And you're getting dragged in the chat for not being able to pronounce Macintosh.
Look, we've been over this. There's good reason. There's good reason for why that happened. Yeah, no, I actually kind of want to visit this town.
Yeah, this looks really nice.
Thank you, Lewis.
I will find there was another one. Give me a second to really dig it up. But talk about this city a little bit more.
Okay.
Do you want to find reviews? Can you translate something?
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about. Okay, so there's a place called, let's see. Let's go to, it's called Le Cafe De Cular, which means the Colors Cafe. Which looks kind of like, I guess, a brewery / restaurant. Some interesting reviews, certainly some interesting reviews. This one coming from Discovering Destinations, who happens to be a local guide. Oh my, I don't know how you end up being a local guide in that area, but said, we hesitated when we read one of the reviews talking about no traditional breakfast. It's true. The main breakfast consists of waffles. I see nothing wrong with that. But super delicious waffles. The best coffee we've had in a week, and amazing service. Go there. FYI, as of the end of August, the kitchen closes at 3 p.m. and they will close for the season on September 15th.
Why would a kitchen close at 3 p.m.?
I mean, there must not be a whole lot of traffic.
Yeah.
This one from Colin James. Nice ambiance, decent coffee, okay waffles. Really slow service, likely wouldn't return. Ouch. I don't agree with
the waffles.
That. Oh, there's a 1-star review from Sarah Keller. Oh my God, I'm gonna read this. I'm just curious. My husband and I sat on the porch at 2 tables pushed together to make a table for 4 people. So we scooted over a table so another couple could sit. The waitress said we couldn't do that and had to sit in the dingy, dark part of the porch at a table for 2. Insulting. Then the waitress sat her friends at the table for 4, where we had been. So rude. This reads like a Trump tweet. There is also no traditional breakfast on the menu. Only waffles. Ugh. Ugh.
Wait, waffles are traditional breakfast.
Hold on. I really want to I can't visualize what she's complaining about. We sat on the porch at 2 tables pushed together to make a table for 4 people.
What was this restaurant again?
This is Le Cafe De Cular. So it's the Colors Cafe. So anyway, we had 2 tables pushed together to make a table for 4. So we scooted over a table so another couple could sit. The waitress said we couldn't do that and had to sit in the dingy. I still haven't made the connection of why, because they pushed 2 together, that they had to sit in the dingy dark part. Like, there's kind of this gap here in this review that it's not making complete sense. So, yeah, Sarah Keller just sounds like a problem to me.
Yeah.
Also, people really don't like the lack of traditional breakfast.
Yeah, I mean, maybe
waffles,
it's just...
What's wrong with waffles?
Waffles are amazing. Waffles are my go-to breakfast.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I guess if you don't eat eggs, it makes sense.
Exactly. All right, here's one. Shamattawa, Manitoba. This comes from CJKHL.
Okay.
I opened it up and then zoomed out right away, and oh boy.
How do you spell this?
There's an airport. SHAMATTAWA, Manitoba. Oh,
wait, hold on.
It's a remote First Nations community. That's why. Okay.
We shouldn't go too hard on them then.
No.
Let's try a different one.
Yeah.
Try a different one.
Yeah, Chris, not letting them. Let's do Thompson, Manitoba.
Thompson. Okay. Is that with a P?
THOMPSON.
Thompson, MB, Canada. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, this is pretty freaking remote.
There's a Walmart.
Yeah, there's a McDonald's. How the hell does McDonald's get their food over to these locations?
Let's look. What are the McDonald's reviews?
Dude, this is really normal.
Oh, there's a one-star review of the McDonald's.
For the McDonald's? Ouch.
It's so long.
I want to read it.
Is
it the one from Daniel Rodriguez?
Yes.
Holy crap, this is long.
Why is there a review?
Should we try to get through it?
Yes.
Or should we do a shorter 1-star review?
No, you got to do this one.
The long one?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. Daniel Rodriguez, local guide. So this guy knows what's up in Thompson, Manitoba. He's got 81 freaking reviews. So we're going to assume that he knows what he's talking about. Okay. Thompson has the distinct pleasure of offering the worst customer service of any McDonald's that I've ever visited across the country. Don't know why he capitalized C for country. I firmly believe it is because they have the "where else are you going to go" attitude. And sadly, they are not wrong on this approach. If you don't like the food or the service, too bad. The choices in Thompson are few, and this McDonald's seems to know that. They have the upper hand. My last experience provides a glimpse of what to expect. They couldn't get my order right, and when I spoke to a manager about this, she advised me that it was up to me to check the screen to ensure it was correct. They gave me the wrong sandwich afterwards, and then took it back to give it to another customer, despite the fact that I'd opened the box and looked at the sandwich. They offered no apologies for the lack of attention to service, instead turned and walked away. The sandwiches were thrown together in what one could only assume was from a distance, based on how poorly the sandwiches were assembled. It's truly disappointing to see a corporate giant such as McDonald's accept that this is okay. And it's even more disappointing that the residents of Thompson also accept this poor level of service because, hey, where else are you going to go?
You know,
wow, that was a journey.
On the
that was a journey.
On the street view, Thompson McDonald's, you can buy Olympic water bottles. You can get free iced coffee or cone.
I just don't understand these reviews sometimes. So he's upset that they got the order wrong, and then he's talked to a manager about it, and then they told him that he's got to make sure it's correct.
Why is Ronald McDonald's face blurred out on the street view?
Because the Google algorithm thinks that's the person.
Okay.
That McDonald's looks like a piece of shit, by the way. Holy crap.
It's got a place.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. How quickly do you think we'd get kicked out if we tried to go in the place?
So quickly.
Yeah, there's a chicken chef. Why would you go to McDonald's when you've got chicken chef?
There's a pizza.
Yeah. No,
there's a lot,
looks
but
good.
it's all concentrated into this one small area.
I feel like Daniel Rodriguez is kind of big assumption there that there's nowhere else to go is kind of wrong. I mean, you've got Santa Maria Pizza and Spaghetti House.
Wait, Lewis is saying that from the image, it looked like Walmart across the street looked really old.
There's a Quiznos. I didn't even realize Quiznos is still a thing.
Oh, this Walmart does look old. It's like the old logo.
There's a Boston Pizza, Robin's Donuts. There's tons. This is a metropolis.
Yeah, this is for being this far north.
Well,
look at how many lakes. Like, how do you get there?
Well, so there's the 6 highway or freeway.
Here's a fun thing. How long do you think it takes to get there from Winnipeg?
I mean, we can find out.
I know. I'm doing it right now.
You're doing it?
How long do you think?
Oh my. I'm gonna say 6 hours.
8 hours.
Oh, I was gonna say 8. Dude, that is a brutal drive.
That's like basically going from like San Diego to San Francisco.
Oh, past? Yeah. Actually, you're right. Yeah, like even maybe past that. That is crazy. Yeah, these distances are just freaking wild. How do people manage?
Yeah,
this is actually not too far from Leaf Rapids, our home away from home.
At some point, we're gonna visit Leaf Rapids.
I was gonna say I would love to, but I don't know if that's true.
Yeah.
Sorry, Leaf Rapids.
Yeah.
There's an Indian cuisine restaurant. Interesting. Yeah, like this whole premise that there's nowhere else to go, I'm still stuck on that in that review. Like, it's just not true. There's plenty of places to try in Thompson.
There's a
Manitoba.
KFC.
When's the last time you went to a KFC?
Oh God, I was thinking about that. I don't know, like 8 years. I don't like go to or like someone got it.
Let's just say go to.
Over a decade.
When's the last time you ate KFC?
Like 8-9 years, probably. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm probably similar. Bacco's Bar and Grill. Oh,
there's a New Balance store.
Bob's Towing.
Yeah, there's
nice.
This is a metropolis. This is a metropolis in northern Manitoba. This is like Los Angeles.
I mean, yeah, on their scale.
On their scale.
How cold must it get?
I mean, just what do you think the weather is right now?
Oh,
I think it's -20. I saw. Is that
Fahrenheit?
Yeah, -26 Fahrenheit.
Oh my God. Yeah, that is brutal. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to the residents. That is really cold.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, is that? Oh, there's also a Subway. Wow, interesting.
You can eat.
There's so much to do here.
You can eat fresh.
There's a gym.
You can eat fresh. I'm not sure how fresh that all actually is, though.
I mean, basically, it just seems like a developer came in and just built up this big kind of like strip mall and just mashed in all the chains, all the big boxes.
There's a Tim Hortons?
Yeah, there's a Starbucks. You can get Tim Hortons or Starbucks. Wow.
I think the Starbucks is in the Walmart. Oh, no, it's separate.
Is it standalone?
I think it's standalone.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, it is. Wow, it actually looks kind of like at first blush. You would think
there's another 1-star review at the top.
You would think that's in Seattle. Is it from Daniel Rodriguez?
No, it's from Gideon Dauphiné.
Yeah. Extremely poor service was given to us at our recent visit here. After waiting at the counter for more than wrong then. That's always the worst. After waiting at the counter for more than enough time to receive service, we were informed that there was no cream to make our drinks. Well, maybe they were looking for the cream. Once we decided to walk away from the employee... Once we decided to walk away, the employee repeatedly told us to have a nice day in a sarcastic and unprofessional manner. We'll not be visiting this location.
Revisiting. I mean, there's no other Starbucks, though, in Thompson. So, I mean, not quite sure what other locations you're going to go to.
I mean, it just always feels in these reviews, these bad ones, that there's like something we don't know that would completely change our view of the review. Like, anyway, sorry, I'm getting too invested in these investigations. Okay.
I think
should we wrap up?
I think that's going to do it.
Okay.
Has any town that we've done unseated Leaf Rapids for the town of the podcast?
How did this podcast last an hour and a half? Damn it. Damn it. Yeah, our viewership right now is just dwindling. Shout out to all the real ones that are still tuned in. We're both recorded and live. Don't you have a food? Don't we have to expose a food take?
Oh,
that part?
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Expose someone.
Lewis said he doesn't like cookies. Charbonneau is exposing Lewis in Discord by saying that. Yeah. So Lou.
Oh, there's some bad ones.
Lou doesn't like cookies. Charbonneau doesn't like beans or pickles.
BLT equals worst sandwich ever. It's like the sandwich is trying to be terrible. BLTs are great. BLTs are fine.
Yeah, Winterborn, correct. This is like Lewis's worst opinion that cookies aren't good. I'm not coasting over that one.
Yeah, I also feel like that just can't be like he can't honestly believe that. No one dislikes cookies. I'm sorry.
I mean, no one dislikes Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
What do you mean no one?
No one.
Who's no one?
No one. No one dislikes Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I actually don't even know if I dislike it.
I think that's the worst part of your take.
What take? I have no opinion towards Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
That's a lie. Someone dig up the podcast.
Bring out the receipts?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Well, now Lewis is doubling down in our chat saying eggs are disgusting.
I mean, that's correct.
NY Pizza is overrated. Most of the places are shit and overpriced. Only decent
DB Lowry.
This is an insane take because think about it. Only decent shop in town is Joe's on Fulton. NYC is a giant freaking city, and you're saying that only one shop is decent. How many pizza shops do you think there are in New York City? Like hundreds?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so, I mean, it's pretty bold to say only one is good. I hope that you've had them all to be able to make that claim.
Yeah. Lou's opinion on eggs with them having a stench is correct also.
Ooh, good take by Winterborn that BLTs with avocado are top tier. That is a very strong.
All right, DB Lowry backtracked back. Only decent spot on the Lower East Side.
Oatmeal is just microwaved hot cereal. Oatmeal is trash. I'm sorry. Honestly, I want to be on your side. But oatmeal sucks. It's flavorless, bad, doesn't do anything for you. Look, if you want to enjoy a nice bowl of oatmeal, go for it. I won't stop you, but I will never have
only good oatmeals are the flavored ones.
I made a bowl of oatmeal once. And I remember the day I did it. It was in my college apartment. And I remember just taking the first bite and thinking, why did I just do this?
Wait, so did you just take oats?
It was the steel cut. And that was it.
And that was it?
That was it.
Nothing else?
The base has to be good. If I have to dress it up for it to be good.
Have you never had the Quaker Oats in the bag? That are like the apple and cinnamon or the maple brown sugar?
Look, it took me one try, one bite, and that was it. I knew. Sometimes you just know.
Maple brown sugar is good, though. It is. It's worth having. But the thing is, it's good because of the maple brown sugar.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah. Made some chicken breasts today.
I thought you wanted to end this podcast.
Was pretty dry.
I thought you wanted to wrap this thing up.
Okay, let's get the heck out of here so I can have my post pod in and out.
All
right, folks.
Just casually dropping that.
Do I get in and out? It's an open question right now.
I think you need to post on Twitter tomorrow for people.
Okay. So if you've made it this far, definitely tweet at us shit show, because that's what this has been for 30 minutes. Like if you've
that last review that we got was basically on par. I listened and I still don't fully know why.
Wow, DV Lowry I think hates New York because now he's saying New York burger joints suck too. If the pizza sucks and the burgers suck,
he misses In-N-Out and their Mexican food is the worst.
Dude, get out of New York.
Just move back here.
Come back to Cali. Oh, I forgot. We're not allowed to say Cali.
No, you're not. It's just fine. Or SoCal.
It's just fine. Okay, well, if you've enjoyed what you've heard today, more power to you. Here are a few ways that you can support our show. The number one way is to check out our Patreon page, Patreon.com/crashthepond. For $1 a month, you get access to our patrons-only Discord server. It's a ton of fun. You get to connect with other diehard Ducks fans. Like you can see, talk about food. We can talk about hockey. There's just everything going on there. It's my favorite place to talk hockey anywhere right now. For $5 a month, you get access to that, and you also get access to 2 bonus episodes a month. On those, we'll go more in-depth on the team. We'll go league-wide, do league-wide rankings. We did our mid-season awards a couple shows ago. And so sometimes we'll also just be able to be a little bit more unfiltered, to give you maybe our more a little less window dressing on our takes, so to speak. And so that's for $5 a month. Now for $15 a month, you get all that, and you just tell us how much you love us. It's a major contribution, and we really, really appreciate that. That's all at patreon.com/crashthepond. Now, you don't have to spend any money to support this show, though. If you look us up on Apple Podcasts, just search for Crash the Pond. You can leave us a rating and a review there. And if you leave us a review, we will read it on the show. We've gotten some really funny ones lately. So the more inside jokes you can work in, the more craziness, the better. You know that's how we roll around here. You can also find us on Spotify. Leave us a rating there. Find us on YouTube, youtube.com/crashthepond. You get the video version of the show. You can see Jake holding up his cat Salem at the end of the show, as he is doing right now. Turn on the notifications as well if you're on YouTube, so that you know when our videos are going up. We are also on social media. Find Crash the Pond on Twitter, at Crash the Pond, and on Facebook. Jake is on Twitter, at ReindeerGames91, and
yes,
I'm on Twitter, at Felix_Scard. And also check out our website, crashthepond.com. We've always got fun Ducks articles going up there, and that's also where you can find the podcast. So on that note, everyone, hope you've had a fun time listening to this. Hope you have a great rest of your week, and we'll talk to you next time. Have a good one.
Bye.